Boom, 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 boom. Reminisce, reminisce. Carrying the tradition of saying Kofa, because we got to go back and collect what is useful, what is needed. And we do this every Tuesday, 7 p.m. Eastern Time live, man. I go by Logic, and I'm here with my brother.
Mine been the Supreme. What up? What up, though?
That's how we doing it, man. How we doing it? Like I said, man, I this warmer weather always gets me excited. I just want to be outside, as we were discussing, hitting up some of these festivals, bringing the Reminisce show to the community and bringing the community to the Reminisce show. We in digital and we in the physical. And Toronto just comes alive, man. Just comes alive. Like this is like the check-in before the check-in. But last weekend, like I was, going down, what was it, Dufferin, and came across like a street festival that was happening on College.
Okay.
Was it College or was it Dundas? Might have been Dundas, actually. Yeah, I think it was Dundas. There was some kind of like festival happening, food fest. I'm not exactly sure what it was, but I was like, yo, Toronto is looking good right now, man. Toronto is popping. This is what we do. We have this short window of warm weather. And I say like June is probably one of the most exciting times in Toronto because it's so fresh and everyone's just needs to be out, man. They're just hungry for the sun.
And you know that there's some time ahead of us still, and the sun is just like the weather. All the greens are fresh.
Man.
Shout out to the cherry blossoms. I got to check them this year. Got some pictures in the park, but yeah, like it got a little. It was a little late in getting to the summer season this year, but spring is here and it's popping. It's nice, and yeah, man, yeah. I'm with you, man. Sometimes you just got to get out and walk around. I actually got to give a quick shout out. I got to buck up with Kamal last Friday, and
yeah. How was that?
It was really dope. It was really dope. We were just building about just some King of Queen Street stuff and just tribe gathering and how to market and promote in these days and times. And then actually at the end of it, like I was just walking home. I was actually going to a hip hop and comic book conference thing that was happening right by the CBC, and it was this dope brother from Ottawa. Actually, this black dude. A couple other people were involved, but it was mainly this black dude, and he had mixed up a lot of hip hop elements with comic books, like Incredible Hulk and Spider-Man and stuff, and he just drew some dope shit. So
wow.
So I was walking to go check my homie there. Shout out Tristan. And then like Kamal was just like, he's just like, yo, man, I just want to walk with you. He's like,
that's peace.
I had a day. And yeah, me and Kamal were just walking around downtown and we just walked for like 10, 15, 20 blocks and end up. And then we got to this dope hip hop exhibit. And the dude it was fresh, man. He had a tribute to Kendrick. He had this Biggie crown that he made. It was really big. It was probably 3 feet wide. It was massive. Just a nice little one of those. There's a couple other people have done similar things, but it's dope. Anybody who mixes hip hop and comics, like it's a great idea. Like so.
Yeah, that's super super blessed, man. Okay, that's what's happening. Yeah. So, was this event like a random? A thing that you came across, or like did you know that it was happening, or it's just like y'all are on a stroll and then all of a sudden you just end up at this like a dope spot?
Well, my homie, he told me about it. Yeah, so this brother's name is Andy Akanga, and it's definitely an African name. God bless him. So this is what he looks like, and
okay, that's what's up, man. Salute the brother, man. That's peace.
Yeah, it's a brother, and so he was doing like stuff like this, he's Dr. Doom holding a microphone. He had this other thing that was like a Tyler the Creator postcard that he gives out, and like actually it's still there. It's there from June 2nd to 26th, so it's still there. You can go see it. It's right at John and Wellington, right by the CBC, and it's just right on the corner there. So it's really dope. It's just hip hop fusion. Hip hop reimagined by illustrator Andy Akanga. So
okay.
So yeah, it
Well,
was just
I think I may have to do a little visit, man, and get some footage and documentation and all that good stuff. So
yeah,
that's
it's
what's up.
it's free too. So
And how long is that going to be up there for?
June 2nd to the 26th.
Got you. Okay, so we still got time to make it happen.
Still got time.
Okay,
Yeah.
man. Well, there's definitely been a lot happening, in the culture. Of course, there's like the BET Awards. I saw some post of Dolce's speech. She was advocating on some of the things that's happening out in LA, with ICE and some of these riots, and it's just like a lot of like energy out there. We know that Lil Wayne has dropped his Carter 6 album. I haven't taken it in, to be honest. I'll give it. I'll give it a shot. I did kind of skim through like one or two songs, and I was like, I'm just not in the headspace for this right now. But I'm definitely going to check it out. I did see a clip from his live performance at the BET Awards, which seems pretty dope. Oftentimes, people look at Wayne and kind of say like, he's like mumbling and he's not like an amazing live performer. And I think with what I saw, which is one of those reminders that he actually is a professional and his vocals are clear, up there with Redman, Jay-Z. Jay-Z has some pretty clean vocals. Redman, clean vocals. These are like professionals. That sound like a recorded studio album live. You know what I'm
That's
saying?
right.
So
That's right. Wayne really knows how to spit. And I actually did get to take in Carter 6.
okay.
And to be fair, like
Why do you
I
got to
did.
say it like that though? You're like,
Oh no, no, no. Yeah, no. I'll be super fair because I actually wrote this and I stand on this opinion. I listened to it
all right.
and
Mhm.
I gave it a 6.5 to 7 out of 10. And some people are here saying, "Oh, it's a 3 out of 10. It's a super trash album." There's, like the streaming numbers are in for the first couple days. It's not big, it's not a secret. It's not doing that well, and it's not really
Yeah.
being received that great. That being said, it's not horrific. Um,
Okay.
it's not horrible, but it's a lot of the beats just aren't that inspiring. There's no Little Wayne, there's no Nicki, there's no Drake, and he's got a couple guest appearances on there that are okay, but like Wyclef comes out of nowhere and spits like this really dope verse, but like
Okay.
there's nothing that's really kind of cutting edge. Like Wyclef is on there, which is dope, but Kodak Black and Machine Gun Kelly are on there, and it's like, why is there no Drake, but you have Kodak Black? So there's these weird decisions on it that are like, man,
Yeah.
it's like a
Yeah.
missed opportunity. So it's like it's yeah, which is I say, I'm like, it's like a 7 out of 10. It's not a classic album. It's definitely not one of the great Carter classics. It's not like Carter 3, guaranteed classic, Lollipop. But
Hmm.
like it's not like a 4 out of 10. Some people are like, "Oh, Wayne is trash and Wayne's garbage and he's washed up." And it's like, slow down, people. Like, get your criticism measured right. Like
Right.
as you said, like his rhyming is still elite. But one of the
Yeah.
problems is he's not really saying anything new. There's nothing really. He's kind of like, yeah, it's a bit of a kind of going through the motions album. So, and it's for like waiting for so long for like a Carter 6 album. You want it to be classic, but it's not. But it's
Yeah. Yeah. Like, would you put it in that same category as kind of like Dr. Dre with his Detox album?
um well how do you mean? Like, well,
Well,
with
I
each
know that Detox didn't come up. I'm saying like that gap in delay, and I know that Detox kind of like morphed into like the Compton soundtrack album ish, and it was like, okay, cool, but like you feel like that because there was so much like space, it left it like like to kind of continue that momentum of that energy when there's such a gap, and then the industry is changing, the sound is changing, but then it's like stuck in a particular era.
Yes, yes. But the interesting thing is, Compton was a slightly better album than this album. Like
Okay.
I listen to both of them a lot, and quite a few people have taken some of these Little Wayne songs and been like, "Yo, they're just throwing new beats under them because you know how easy it is to do these days.
Right.
And they're like, yo, this is why you can see a lot of these beats are just kind of dated. Wayne is not doing things that are like speaking to this generation
Right.
of beats or ways of making songs. He's kind of just stuck in a rut a bit, and he can still rhyme at a world class level, but the hooks are boring. It's just like a verse and a hook and a verse and a hook, and then it's done. And like
Yeah.
there's no imaginative new songs, there's no stories, there's
Right.
like there's nothing really like, oh, you're taking the culture to a new place. There's like one
Gotcha.
there's like one song with a guitar on it, but it's not even anything he's never done before. Like there's nothing surprising.
Yeah. Yeah.
People are like, yo, Wayne, you're not like, this isn't, there's nothing to write home about. You're not changing the culture. So, but he's still rhyming decently. So, yeah, it's like similar to the Dr. Dre problem, but yeah, but he's still like, people need to just measure their criticisms accurately because he's still a world-class dude. He just needs something new to be inspired by.
Yeah, like I feel, with an artist like Wayne, because yeah, like he's up there, and like his style of rapping is his style of rapping. Like, I've seen in many interviews where he's like, he doesn't really listen to like what's going on around him, and that might also be part of like, the issue. Unlike someone like Drake, for example, who is very much in tune, he knows how to speak to the generations. You know what I mean? He does master that, knows how to evolve and shape shift to do that. And that's why he does, crazy numbers. But I think for someone like Wayne, what would have been interesting, especially now that we're in this culture of music where things are like integrated and, fans want to be, part of it. I mean, fans have made remixes and whatnot. Like, I think like Wayne could have like put out like an acapella album and just let the fans do their thing and just be like, all right, I'm going to take the best out of this, whatever you guys are going to create it and make it. And I think that would have been a way more meaningful approach for an artist like Wayne in his space right now, because he can't compete with like the new energy, the new artist. He's a legend, but sometimes when you try too hard, that could like kind of hurt the brand. So to me, the only other option is really just like lean into like what's on. It's like, okay, it could be a nobody who's making beats in his mom's basement, and then all of a sudden it's like, that's the one. You know what I'm saying? It's like, yo, you got it.
But that
So
you absolutely nailed it, because the ironic thing is, for me, when I listen to it, the best song on the album is a song called Being Myself. And he's like, I stick to myself, I rhyme with myself, I love myself, I don't fuck with myself. And like that, he kind of keeps that rhyme structure for like
yeah,
most of the song. And he's really talking about how much he only fucks with himself. And it's a Manny
right.
Fresh song. The beat is really dope. And that's one of the illest songs on the album to me.
Okay,
So
I'm gonna take it in.
yeah, like if you want to, like if you don't want to take in the whole album, honestly, listen to
That's
Being
the one.
Myself
Okay.
by Manny Fresh.
All
Like
right.
it's great. So
I'm gonna take it.
like the one criticism I'll say is like, I could say a lot, but I'll just narrow it down to this. He's kind of in the same space that like Eminem is definitely in, and
Okay.
Dr. Dre has been in at sometimes, where you just get so isolated in your own world. You're not part of like the modern beat styles or the
Yeah.
cutting or like the energies of the modern producers at all. You're just like in your own world, in your own head. And it's just like, when you come out with your stuff, it's just not that inspiring. Like it's like 3 or 4 of the songs have kind of old samples, and like I don't mind, but like he doesn't do anything new with them at all.
Right.
It's just like he samples an old Cameron song, and I'm like, that's cool, but it's like there's nothing kind of. I'm like,
Nothing compelling. And that's
yeah,
like,
it's not.
oh
I'm like,
man, that was amazing.
which is why I'm saying it's like a 7 out of 10. It's like it's not bad, but it's like I'm like, this isn't blowing me away. But and then there's another song where he kind of he remakes "Rock the Bells" by LL Cool J, and he's like, Lil Wayne as hard as nails. Like so he
Okay.
does a few little things, but it's not a great remake of "Rock the Bells." It's like it's okay. So
So
yeah, so it's like
so what I'm hearing from you based on it sounds okay. Would this be a fair analysis? Like, does it sound more like a mixtape type of album than like an album?
hell yeah. Hell yeah. And that's exactly what I said when I was like, Wayne needed to put out a mixtape first, and a lot of these songs are good mixtape quality, but they're not album songs. They're not like,
Right.
and I'm like, all of Wayne's past, anybody who knows Wayne would just murk these mixtapes and get his like just sharpen the blade and
Yeah.
just like get his rhyming up and like kill
Yeah.
all the hot beats of
Right.
the year. And then when he's like, okay, well, I got to do something better than, No Ceilings 3 or fucking, Dedication and this, DJ Drama mixtape. My album's going to be better than that because I just did this hot
Yeah.
mixtape.
Yeah.
He didn't do that this time. There was nothing before Carter 6, no single, no mixtape. And he just kind of just dropped it and people were like, these are mixtape songs, bro.
Yeah, because he did make the announcement, and if I'm not mistaken, it was kind of shortly after like the Super Bowl and whatnot, and he kind of made like a post being like, "Hey, Carter 6 is coming out," and just kind of left it at that, and people kind of speculated that there might be some diss records on there or something like, I don't know, but yeah, like I feel like sometimes with that type of like announcement and then anticipation kind of kills the vibe. You should have just dropped it. Be like, boom, here it is. But anyways, it's all good, Wayne. His concert, did that already pass in Toronto?
No. I think it's August. I think it's August 17th or something.
Oh, it's like okay. So he was just in town because I saw a post. He was like in I guess his like tour bus or whatever, and like looks like I look, I'm great when it comes to Toronto. Like you can show me a clip and I know exactly where it is. It looked like he was driving on the Garner, like near the CN Tower, saying that, hey, look, I'm in the neighborhood. So that's why I kind of assumed that maybe he was just kind of tapping in, and he had the owl on.
Owl on, yeah.
He did, of course. Yeah. So
yes.
I mean, he's around, but I know he was like out in LA for the BET Awards and all that kind of stuff. So that's why I assumed that his concert already happened, but that's in August. That makes sense. I'll be after OVO Fest, which I think is going to be Mod with Vibes Cartel. Come on now. That's all he needs, really. Like, he doesn't even need to bring any other artists, man. Just Vibes is cool. Between Vibes' catalog and Drake's catalog alone, you guys are good to go, man. That's it. You know what I mean? No new friends. And Cartel, and honestly, Cartel has been rocking the owl. You know what I mean? Like, I don't think he's taken it off since. So to me, those are all the signs that show that this is official. Like, you never know. It could be some Vibes Cartel, OVO, something in the works, man. Something is going down. They can't trick me, man.
I think
a dual album, Drake and Vibes Cartel album.
What?
Oh,
you're mad, yo.
I'm just trying to think, like, what else can he do? Like, this is what's left on the table. Like something that hasn't been done.
That would be such a cultural smash if Drake did that. Drake do like a wow, man, like a distant relatives, but
yeah. Wow. Now you're talking.
Ridiculous.
Now you're talking.
Ridiculous fire. So I'm here for that. I think he did announce that at least maybe Central C was going to be there because Central C. I mean that's whose show he announced the OVO Fest at. So that should be good. That should be good. Other things popping, yeah. Well, I mean, I definitely want to give a quick little shout out to Doechii for like. I want to read her quote because, that's just
let's get it.
It's so real, man. Because shit's tripping in LA right now. So she was like, people are being swept up and torn from their families, and I feel it's my responsibility as an artist to use this moment to speak up for all oppressed people, for Black people, for Latino people, for trans people, for the people in Gaza. And as much as I'm honored by this award, I do want to address what's happening right outside of the building. Yes, because they're in LA and they're at the BET Awards. It's like, it's just a no-brainer. Like, let's like not fucking pretend like we're in this illusion world. Your celebrities in there. And I love what she said here. I don't even listen to too much of her. I'm not a hater and I'm not a lover, but like I salute any artist who is in any way, shape, or form political, especially new generation artists. So I love her for this.
Mm-hmm.
She says, there are ruthless attacks that are creating fear and chaos in our communities in the name of law and order. Trump is using military forces to stop a protest, and I want you all to consider what kind of government it appears to be when every time we exercise our democratic right to protest, the military is deployed against us. People are being swept up and torn from their families, and I feel it's my responsibility as an artist to speak up for all oppressed people. We deserve to live in hope and not in fear, and I hope we stand together, my brothers and sisters, against hate as we protest against it. Thank you, BET. I don't care what the fuck. I don't care how whack or how dope your music is. If you're taking a moment to speak like that, I gotta salute that. And like, so like gunshots for Dochi for that right there. And
No, I definitely give ratings for yeah, for standing up, being clear and concise, and getting right to the message. You know, no long
yeah,
talk.
yeah,
Like this is what it
yeah,
is.
no, yeah, no fucking no
For sure.
downplaying it. No, like this is clearly about the fucking anti-Trump riots. Like fuck the bullshit. Like
Yeah, man. Yeah, we got to. You know, there's a lot of energy that's happening. You know, the people are uneasy, and you know, there's a lot of shifts happening, consciousness, and to me, it's always like a wave. You know, like well, I always like reference like the Black Lives Matter era, like when that was coming up, and then even moments before that, and before that, like like things like rise up and then kind of get calm again, and then rise up again and get calm again, man. So there's something has got to give, and I hope that we as a collective human family put humanity first, because I mean
it's the
we,
only
we
way.
need each other, I mean we're all brothers and sisters on this planet. We're here for a short period of time, and we want to make sure that we'll leave this planet a little better than what it was when we came here, right? So
That's the perpetual mission at all
that
times,
is.
and that will never
Hopefully we'll
change.
get it, man. Hopefully we'll get it at some point. When there's life, there is hope. So we still have hope to make the change and to do something better.
That's what it is. That's what it is. And like, respect to Dochi for being like, it doesn't matter how young or old you are or how rich or poor. Like, this is the ultimate journey, and this is the final solution
Mm.
of all of us. Get some blood clot world peace happening, and have some respect for each other. And yeah, don't fucking deport people who Trump is just. This is the absolute end of America if some of these laws and if this corruption goes through. This is America will
Man,
never recover from the damage that's done, and yeah, it'll just be the end of democracy in the Western world as we know it. And
as
because
we know it, yes.
like
Something else, man. Something else.
yeah, so but yeah, shout out to all the people who are saying and doing the right things in response. What else is popping in the news? What else is on your radar?
Yeah, well, we know that the Roots is coming up later this month, June 21st, I believe. Maya is going to be in town. There's a day party. I believe it's DJ Charlie B's I Love R&B vibe, and I'm looking to tap into that, man. Like I've been a big Maya fan since the late '90s, man. That's like my like high school crush kind of vibe. You know what I'm saying? Like though all of her songs. And you know what's so crazy too? I was actually thinking to myself because now I'm a lot older than when I was in high school, and I was like taking in the songs that were coming out at that time. So even like all of like Maya songs, they're a lot about dysfunctional relationships, essentially,
Yeah,
you know, and they're great. They're beautiful songs to sing to, and it's like and I started thinking to myself, I'm like, yo, did they set us up for this type of expectation or like or role in relationships? Because they spoke about there's a lot of dysfunction, whether it's like cheating or whatever the case, but there's no songs that really kind of show us how to cultivate these relationships and whatnot. I mean, don't get me wrong, like there was like the soul R&B music era that came out with like Music Soul Child and India Irie, and they kind of like moved on that. But when I think of like some of these like mega pop hits with like the hip hop collaborations, and I think of like Maya and Jay-Z, like Best of Me Part 2, and you know Heartbreaker, Mariah Carey and Jay-Z, and like these collaborations are incredible. But a lot of the songs are just like, yo, like they really put in our heads that this is a normal aspect of relationships. At least that's what I started reflecting on. I'm like, because growing up is like, yeah, like there's supposed to be drama and there's supposed to be this and that and deceit and whatnot, you know. And then I get older, I'm like, yo, like it don't have to be like that, man. I almost feel like we were programmed to kind of like operate in this way without even really knowing it. I don't know.
You
There's some weird
you
reflection, but I
no
still love the
way.
song.
That is super real. That is actual facts. That's a really mature and brilliant way to say it because I'm with you, fam. You know what? I'm a polyamorous porn star. So when I listen to a bunch of stuff, I'm like, I'm not meant to just like get one girlfriend and settle down and have a traditional
Yeah,
life. So when I look at it from a lens of, yo, for real, like I know that my relationship styles work and like I don't have toxic, like I can have multiple lovers in my life and there's no arguments about it. There's no
yeah.
conflict. There's nobody scratching my car. I don't got, I don't got to deal with
Yeah,
say my name.
yeah,
If no one is like, yo, I will say, yo, I'm here with another girl. I can say that.
yeah,
Like, I don't got to
yeah,
deal
yeah,
with
yeah,
everything.
yeah.
So like, I look at that and I'm like, yo, this doesn't have to be. This very
That's
much
what's up.
is semi unnecessary behavior. And real music talks about all right, yeah, it can talk about things that are happening, but these aren't like guaranteed things that have to happen in relationships. There are solutions to them. So that, like, I mean, I was actually just enjoying something where I'm like, oh, this was like the War of the Roses era where it was fun and playful, even though it was like slightly toxic, but it wasn't too bad. I was listening to the No Scrubs, No Pigeon a couple of because I was like, yo, this was a fun time in the culture because TLC
It
come
was.
out with No Scrubs
Yeah,
and
yeah.
they just be dissing, kind of broke ass dudes, whatever. But
You
then
ain't
like,
even work at McDonald's. Yo, these guys are crazy, man.
yeah, exactly. And then there's like a playful record in response, and it was like it wasn't too serious. It was like boys versus girls stuff. And like it was lighthearted stuff. Nobody was talking about like violent things or whatever,
Yeah,
but it was.
yeah, yeah.
So I was like, this was, it's a little grimy, but it's also at least, it's not as toxic as things did get.
Well, yeah, like, well, because I look at it and I started taking it in, and don't get me wrong, like I still bump these songs, I listen to it, but I'm like thinking to myself, I'm like, yo, these songs really perpetuated a certain kind of narrative that was almost like this expectation and just like a standard that there's nothing about building a family or building trust or like thinking some type of like longevity kind of thing. It was like, yo, what could I get out of this? And then create a certain, experience. And then from that, so to demand them, hey, we want to be players or whatever, you know what I mean? And but doing it in a toxic way when in reality, you can still get all that you desire authentically, as you beautifully articulated.
Yes.
But then all of this deceit has created like it's like a timeline like warp or timeline jump where now we're in like an alternate reality. Any Back to the Future fans know what I'm talking about, you know what I mean? Where one piece of history changed, now it's like an alternate reality where this dysfunction has created like a sub dysfunction where now like the women are responding to that toxicity. And then now, this idea of like, girl bosses and like, hey man, girls are cheaters too, and all this kind, you know what I mean? It's going off in this like weird cycle. And I'm like, who's getting the money bag from all of this dysfunction? That's what I want to know. Who's co-signing this, right? Because I don't see any other culture, I'm talking about Black people specifically, any other culture that like pushes this type of agenda so consistently and viciously, knowing very well that I said it many times and I'll say it again, man. Music is a spiritual entity.
Mhm.
It can make you cry, it can make you laugh, it can motivate you to like do all kinds of things. This is the power of music, and when it's done to a certain beat and it feels great, it's like we feel like we're being empowered, but when we really look at it, it's like, okay, we don't own anything. What is empowerment? I mean, we look good. We look good,
That's it.
but
That's
that's it.
it. Yeah. We don't, yeah.
You know?
We don't even own the platforms that you can look at us on. Like, and we don't even own things that you can listen to us through. So, but like, no, you absolutely nailed it. And I agree, man. It's not. other people are benefiting from. I mean, the cops benefit from the arrests, and the justice system benefits from the arrests and the jailings, and like
Yeah.
the industries benefit from. I saw a saying that was wild. It was something like, some of these capitalists and people they look at black people, and they call black people liquid money, because they said that black people's money is the money that flows out of the community the fastest.
100%. Are
And
you kidding me?
I was like,
Yeah.
fucking cold as hell. And like, yeah, some of these, for the ghetto cats who are like, yo, man, I don't want to support my local. I just want the Gucci belt and the what, and it's like, yo, man, these people got no love for you, man. But they'll take your money for sure. But like,
Oh,
you're
this
not loving Carl Kanai, or your like local friend who designs clothes. That's the exact same thing as Armani in the
for
Italian
sure.
community. And like, we should love our clothing designers the way they
Yeah.
love their clothing designers.
Well, you nailed it, man. This reminds me of this video online. I suggest everybody go check it out. It's called "How to Sell to the Negro," and
Ooh,
it's a video, and it's almost like this like sales kind of like the video explainer kind of vibe, and it takes place in the 1950s. And it starts off with like business guy in his office, and he's essentially talking to like racist business owners who in general would not want business from black people, but he was like, hold on, this is a group of people that have a spending power in the can't remember how
brilliant.
many billions of dollars, right? We said a number, and he's like, do you want to be left out of that equation? Follow me. And he goes, and then it's almost like this like National Geographic type of like exploration. It's like, okay, well, they say that the Negro, and this is literally the language that they're using, like
Yeah,
that the Negro, they're swindlers and they don't pay bills and whatever. And they're like, well, actually, based on statistics, they are more likely to pay their bills on time than anybody else. Obviously, because of like surveillance and I mean, you got to be twice as good. We all know this in the community. They're saying that they come from, two-parent households and the kids are going to college and basically like demystifying like all of the negative stereotypes to be like, there's a lot of buying power here.
yeah,
And
wow,
and they said like how to sell to them is there's a few things that the Negro loves and holds dear because he has gotten so little of it over time. And it makes perfect sense if you know the history of Jim Crow, slavery, so on and so forth, especially in North America and other places. They say that the number one thing that Negro needs is recognition, is just to be recognized, to be seen as dignity because he has gotten so little of it over time. And that makes a lot of sense. And then it was like the Negro buys by brand. Yo, they're talking about this in the 1950s, fam. You know what I mean? Because it's a status symbol, right? So it's like they don't want to be sold like the cheap stuff and whatever. That's what that's all we've been allotted to. So now it's like we got to show that we are integrated into the society, but not with real power of like owning land or things. You know what I mean? It's like nice silverware and a nice car, fancy hat, like the suit. I'm looking the part. So this was
Cadillac.
already embedded, the Cadillac, yeah. This was embedded into the psyche and the understanding of the psychology from back then. Then when you look at, when you look at the 70s, the 80s, the 90s, and so forth, like this has just been templated. So when you say that liquid gold,
Yeah,
it just
liquid
flows.
money. Yeah, that
That
they called
liquid
us
money,
liquid money.
it just
We were
flows
liquid
because,
money.
and it's all that recognition and the fact that we can go into these spaces where the people do not look like us, but we have our money, like we're good here. This I'm kind of going on a bit of a rant though, but this reminds me of this clip I saw where it was just after integration, where like where integration where black people can now go to diners and whatnot, and it showed this interview of this one brother. He's like they're interviewing after he went to this like white diner or whatever, and he's like eating the food. He's like, yo, honestly, the food wasn't seasoned, it wasn't great. And I started thinking to myself, is like, is this what we're really fighting for? This integration? I just thought that was kind of funny.
That was one of
Obviously,
those clips
bigger
of
than
all
dinner, but
time.
he's like the way how we said. I was like, yo, this is what we're fighting for. So long story short, we as a group of people, man, like we have like an insecurity or inferiority complex where like we don't trust ourselves to see ourselves as that value outside of the cosign of other cultures. You know what I mean? Particularly like white culture. Like we need that like approval, that like that head nod, like, yeah, we made it, we here. When in reality it's like, no, man, we've been the juice, we've been the sauce. Like we're the past, present, and the future. Like what are we talking about? And we just need to really get there soon. But hey, we gonna dance. We gonna dance. We
You
gonna
said it.
dance, yo.
You said it, man. You said it though. That's the real, man. Like, yeah, I saw something else about it, man. But the game ain't changed, man. That's just
No,
capitalism, generation after generation, and yeah. Oh yeah, I saw actually it was pretty dope because it was like a white kid who was like, there's just this white kid who understood. He's like, yeah, you know what? Like, he just compared it to an pretty simple metaphor, but he's like, how can you? He's like, we're lucky that black people aren't furious because imagine that you were all playing Monopoly and you start with $100 and then the black person starts with $17 and then the black person can't move forward, but you can go around the board a bunch of times. He
right,
just made up, and then he's like, and then the banker just is like, all right, now we're gonna play and just like pretend like you didn't disadvantage one of the players for generations. And you're like, yeah, it's like, yeah, we're still, and the white kid was smart because he said the thing that like really matters. He's like, yeah, like it still is affecting things to this day, like to now. And I'm like,
I love
that's
it.
the
Agreed.
point. These
Agreed.
motherfuckers, like, they're like, one of many tricks is they're like, oh, we solved that, and when slavery was done, everything got reset and everything's fixed. Like, bro, like, nah. Things
Yeah,
go.
man. That's
Yes,
what's up, man. On a slightly other note, man. Because any chance I get to talk about Africa, man, I'm gonna do that, man. Yo, shout out to Khalees. Like I said, man, I'm Team Nas all the way and all that. You know what I'm saying? But yo, big up to the sister for the works that she's been doing out in Africa. I know that she's out in Kenya, if I'm not mistaken. Well, hold on. She's sharing her experience in East Africa. So countless natural wonders found in Rwanda, Kenya, and Zanzibar. So
fire.
that's definitely in the area. From my understanding, she has like a farm in Kenya, about like 150 acres, if not more. Like that's a lot of land, by the way. Anybody who knows, like that's proper. Like you are good to go. Like you can, anyways, you can do a lot with that. Big up to her, living her life, and promoting it and just showing the people, man. Look at this, man. All teeth, man.
Beautiful.
All smiles,
Oh,
man. Beautiful people.
beautiful.
You know,
Oh,
these are some clips of her just, skin
oh,
glowing.
oh,
Tell, man, telling you,
oh.
this is just where it's at, man. So
Khalees.
big up to her, man. And what I loved, I saw this one clip and she was like really bigging up Zimbabwe and like South Africa, and those are two places that I've been privileged to visit. And when she described, because like she was like talking about, okay, if you want more of the city vibe, South Africa is great. There's a lot of movement. If you want, the natural mystic energy, like Zimbabwe, and I have to agree, man. Going to, well, I do say they call it Victoria Falls, which was named after Queen Victoria, colonizer, and yada yada yada. The actual name, based on the indigenous peoples of Zimbabwe, is Mosi Oya Tunya, which means the smoke that thunders. And when
Moise
you go
Oya.
there,
Yeah, that's the name I want to know.
yeah, Mosi Oya Tunya. Yes.
Moise Oya Tunya.
Yeah,
Yes.
so that is, and it translates into the smoke that thunders. And like when you go there, you understand. It's like the mist, the wetness, like so refreshing, but like the sound, it's like from a size perspective, it's like 2.5 Niagara Falls. You know what I mean? So you like extend it, and then just the depth, and just it's such an incredible vibe. And being there, it was nothing short of a mystic experience. I could have just spent the entire day there. I'm sure ancestors would have been start talking to me and all kinds of
Mm,
interesting reflections. But yeah,
mm.
and like I said, these are the kind of images that I want to see. It still baffles me to this day. I know I'm feeling kind of going on a bit of a rant though, but it does
Yeah,
baffle me
don't
to this
rant.
day how many rich artists and people who have traveled around the world, like literally run laps multiple times across Africa, multiple times across the Caribbean and whatnot. and don't show the humanity and don't try to shift the negative narrative of Africa in some of these places, you know, especially Africa. So when I see Khalees as well, I always big her up every time, and wherever she's at in Africa, it's like I want to go there. This looks perfectly safe. This looks great. Let's do it. You
Hmm.
know, it's luscious. It's vibrant. Like she's glowing. Like the and again, as Black people, that the dignity that you get, at least from my experience, you know, I can't generalize and whatnot, but just my experience, you know, seeing people who look like you in every face of existence, you know, from authority to just the regular store clerk is just powerful stuff, you know,
You
powerful
said it,
vibe.
yo. And
Yeah.
that's the goal, man. That's the ultimate goal. Like we're so far from there. And I saw something like I call it like anything that is a first Black celebration that we had, like after Obama, every first Black celebration just shows how much progress we still haven't had.
Yeah.
Like it's because it's like we haven't had the first Black woman president, like Kamala Harris, like
Yeah.
like that didn't happen. And there's so many things like I saw some other thing, and it was like some fashion thing. We're like, oh yeah, just like a couple months ago, they're like, this is the first time we've ever had like a Black director. We're like, it's 2025. Are you fucking
What?
serious? Like,
Yo,
what are y'all doing? What the fuck is this shit? This is ridiculous.
yo, that's something that I've been really meditating on a lot. And it's like one of those things where it's like truth hidden in plain sight, where just the mere fact that we are still saying that today, the first Black to do this, or first da da da, or
I
Black owned business and support
Yeah.
Black owned. And the reason why we have to say that is in the context of like systemic oppressions, white supremacy. And so, because it's all done within that container. If
Hmm.
that container was removed, it just would be, you know, there'd be no barriers. It would just be this amazing person who just happens to be Black is doing this. You know what I
You
mean? But
said
because we're
it.
still in this container, it's like a shock to people. It's like, wow, you had to jump through all kinds of hoops and all kinds of like things to, like, you can only imagine to be the first Black person to do fill in the blank. It's like, you know, you got to jump through some serious hoops.
No
You
doubt.
didn't get no
You
handout.
Yeah,
Like,
you're literally like the rose that grew through concrete, man. Because like
yo,
you
beautiful.
are
That's it right there.
yeah.
That's exactly it. It's like, yes, it is possible that a rose can grow out of concrete. It is true. But wouldn't it be nice if it had some fertile soil?
Some fertile soil and like a garden.
Wouldn't it be nice if it just started from there? You know what I'm saying?
Right,
Like,
exactly, like it's supposed to.
yeah,
So
the first rose that made it. So many roses have tried to grow through that concrete but didn't. And
yeah,
you did.
yeah.
Wow, that's amazing.
It means like, yo, how about y'all give us a garden instead of like giving us
That's it.
like a concrete ceiling? but yeah, so yeah, man. Like we're in 2025, and like things are, as we can see, man. Like these things are, the fight is harder than ever because like fascism is so fucking real and oppression is real and things are moving backwards in a lot of ways,
True.
and Trump is like erasing people's names and like Black people's accomplishments across like the historic timeline. People are like, oh, we're not going to talk about that anymore. Like, what the fuck are you talking about, motherfucker? Like, this is insane. So
Mm.
yeah, um, on a better note, I'm gonna just before I get too
Yeah.
angry. Um, it looks like Wu-Tang is coming out with another video game.
Oh, that would be kind of fire, actually.
Yeah, yeah,
I'm
like
down for that.
it looks sick as hell. Like it's like a beat 'em up. It looks like a, but you're not one of the Wu-Tang dudes. It's not like a fighting. It's not like a Street Fighter fighting game like the last one. It's like more of an action game. You just hack and slash, and you go through. You got a weapon, and you have to rescue the Wu-Tang members. Apparently, they've been kidnapped, and yeah, it's called
Okay.
Wu-Tang: Rise of the Deceiver. And
Got you. Got you. Got you.
yeah, so there's yeah, and there's like Wu-Tang music in it, and it looks like Ghostface is taking a special part in it. But yeah, yeah, oh, and also yeah, Just Blaze, yeah, that's the other thing I want to shout out. Just Blaze not only is a producer on it, but The other thing is RZA also dropped. Yeah, that's it.
Right here.
They're out there. All
Gotta rescue them. This one we gotta protect. We cannot choose when people's dreams get snatched up out
find
here.
Inspector Deck, find RZA, find Master Kill, find Jizzle, find Method, find Record, find Kevin, find Ghostface Killer.
Where is the Wu-Tang Clan?
Find them.
Yeah. I love it. I love it. That shit is
Okay, that
that
was
shit,
not what I expected, but I'm here for it.
right?
I love that vibe. I was kind of hoping that you could like select one of the Wu-Tang, almost like a Street Fighter kind of vibe. Like that's kind of how I pictured it when you first mentioned. I'm like, yo, you know what I mean? Like, but hey, that
Well,
I'm down for.
I mean, do you know about that game? Because they did have that. That's Shaolin style.
Oh, right, that's right. Yeah, 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 yeah,
That's
yeah,
the
yeah,
one they
yeah,
came
yeah.
out with
That's
like
probably why.
25
Yeah,
years ago. Man,
right,
I
right,
have it.
right.
It's on PlayStation 1. And that game was so hard, but it was
Yeah,
actually
exactly.
like hard body as well. It was
Yeah,
fantastic.
yeah, yeah.
So like, yeah, there was a Wu-Tang fighting game. And yeah, they
This is
all
like
have
a quest. I
mission
like that
moves.
though. Yeah.
Yeah, so this is like a hack and slash quest. It's dope.
Okay.
But you can't tell yet, but it looks like probably at some point you'll be able to play as the Wu-Tang characters, hopefully. But they
Yeah,
got
as
us.
you save them, like they're part of the crew or something. You know what I mean? So
Yeah,
yeah.
they're doing it good where they're not revealing
Okay.
much. But that's the
Well,
other thing. Not only is the tour coming soon, but there is the new trailer dropped for the new RZA movie, and it's called
I did see that, man.
what is it called? 2 spoons of chocolate or something like that. I think it's called 2 spoons of chocolate. But it looks good. I love RZA. I'm a RZA
Well, it's
fan.
called one spoon of chocolate.
1 spoon of chocolate. Is it 1 spoon of chocolate?
Yeah, let me see. We play the trailer real quick, man.
Yeah.
Hi, Pop.
Oh. Oh,
2 years assault and battery.
For stopping my neighbor from getting whipped on by her drunk husband.
Kazoo! You put that man in a coma.
He was a bully.
What do we have here?
oh.
What's the fucking rules around here, Jonesy?
You tell us, what's the rules around here?
Oh. Okay.
God instructs us to prepare.
If you want to live, I suggest you leave this town immediately.
I can stand here and fight for what's mine.
Preparation is one of the commandments of God. He who has prepared to enter the kingdom shall enter the kingdom.
This system is a giant.
They just slew a giant with a goddamn slingshot.
Your technique is second to none. That was a magnificent display of the Mandingo style. Quite impressive.
Mandingo
He
style.
who seeketh shall find. He who knocketh, it shall be opened.
Okay, that's what's up. That is what's up. Okay, man, Wu-Tang. And I'm loving this, the vibe of that kind of like, thriller, like bit of like race tension, just like superhero vibe, like all of that, man. I'm here for that type of energy. We need some new narratives and some new themes, So that's what's up.
Mm-hmm. I fuck with that, yo. I think RZA's a fantastic creative, and his direction is really good. I think all of his movies have been very good.
Yeah.
I don't think I think they're really dope. I don't think he's made his super masterpiece yet, but like I think that one day he will make like a movie that will align in like the mainstream and will blow up. And I hope that he's like recognized on the level of a Quentin Tarantino.
Yeah.
But yeah, Man with the Iron Fist is really good. And then he put out a movie literally the same weekend that the pandemic started. That was his last movie. And so the movie got delayed, like it came out as soon as the world went to shit. And I can't exactly remember the movie, but it was awesome because it was a robbery movie based around the Katrina floods. It was like these dudes robbing FEMA. They were like, "Yo, the floods just happened." It was like this. It was a sick ass movie.
That's interesting.
Yeah, it was so dope. It was like a heist movie, and they're like, FEMA has all this money because of the floods. We're gonna run up in FEMA. I can't exactly remember the name, but that was before this movie. That was RZA's last movie.
Yeah.
I watched it. It was dope, man. T.I. was in it, and he played a guy with vitiligo.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah,
Okay.
so, yeah, man. I'm pretty sure that was in it. Yeah.
I want to try to check it out, man. Okay, no, it sounds peace.
Yeah. No, it was a good ass movie. Yo, RZA be making this. He's producing, and he's I think if anybody knows, you know that movie Nobody? Do you ever see that?
No, I didn't see that one.
There's an action movie called Nobody, and RZA plays a character in it. He's actually he's got a murderous cameo in it. So Nobody has a sequel that's just about to come out, and I just saw in the trailer. It looks like RZA's face is in that too. So
okay,
I got my RZA vision on, and actually, well, this is the last thing I'm gonna say. I think RZA is on Drink Champs in like this week or next week. I'm 99%.
We need that, man. We need the the RZA one. Okay, that's what's up, man. That's what's up. Yeah, I saw some clips from David Banner. David Banner is such like a slept on artist, man. I've always appreciated his spirit and just the way he carries himself and whatnot, and his love and passion for the culture. But yeah, I think RZA is going to be a really, really good one, man. Look out for that.
Hey, the movie's called Cutthroat City. The last one that I was talking about. Cutthroat City, yeah. It came out in 2019. Like March 2019. It literally came out like pandemic.
Okay. That's what's up.
Yeah. But yeah, man, yeah. So I don't know if there's anything else. What else on your radar? Anything?
I think that's it for now. I'm just looking forward to some of these concerts coming up. I know that Kendrick Lamar is happening this week, I believe Thursday and Friday. It's going to be interesting to see if if there's going to be any issues at the border. Like I said, I'm not making any speculations or whatever. But if he can't cross the border, I will raise one eyebrow. Okay? I ain't saying I'm not. I'm just saying. I'm like that would be interesting. That would be interesting. It's like I don't know. I guess only time will tell. We will see. We will see.
I mean, realistically, that's the thing because it's like. As much as there are people in power who might want to manipulate and sabotage that, that being said, it's like there are some people on the other side because this is also a person who performed at the Super Bowl this year. So I'm saying that it might be too big to fail right now.
Yeah. True.
So, that's also a possibility, but like as you said, we will see. Yeah. But because they're the artists that have kind of gone through some stuff, they were smaller artists. Pusha T is a smaller artist than Kendrick,
for sure. Yeah. Well, and I also hope that there is no incidences or anything crazy that happens because I know Toronto could be Toronto. When we want to be like, this is the Screwface capital. I know like names have shifted over time, but we come from the era where, people will be throwing bottles, at the stage, if the artists weren't performing correctly, like I remember those days. Like, and things are a little different now, though. But I just hope that everyone behaves themselves. And hey, look, man, this is all entertainment. Okay, this is all entertainment. That's what it is.
All just words. Ain't no need to.
That's it. Sticks and stones may break my bones, but names will never hurt me. And we'll just leave it at that. Word.
Mhm.
Well, I mean, I think that's pretty much that for this episode of the Reminisce Show that we do every Tuesday, 7 p.m. live Eastern time. I'm sure next week we'll have some more things to build on. It's there's always something new, always something going on.
Summertime's are coming. I think I'm going to be doing the naked bike ride this Saturday, so I will definitely have an update about that.
You do that every year. You make it sound like it's like a surprise. Like, don't you do that like every year?
Every single year. I have not.
You're like, I think I am. It's like, man, you're going.
Well, I haven't even looked up to see if it's still happening. I just know on the second weekend of every June, I expect it to happen because that's when it's plotted. So I haven't even. I just expect it to be there. So my bike is in the repair shop getting tuned up for the weekend. I should probably pick it up tomorrow. And like it's gonna be go time. I'm so happy. That's a definite like kickoff for the summer. Fun fact, Arnold Schwarzenegger was there last year.
He was on the bikes?
He wasn't on the bikes. He was actually like witnessing it from the crowd.
Because you're like, Arnold was there. It's like, what? He's like cling cling, like, like I'll be back.
I wish, man. I would have got a picture for show, but no, I heard he was just watching us. So, and since we're biking by so fast, I didn't see him, but I actually saw he was here filming Fubar, and I saw a picture of him on Young Street on the Saturday.
Yeah. I did see that.
I'm like, Arnold Schwarzenegger saw me naked.
Represent, man.
Yeah.
Word. Big up to Arnold.
Yeah. And it'll be good, man. There was like one last TV show I was gonna mention. I can't remember now, but anyways, I'll bring it up another time.
Well, BMF is bad. That's probably what you're probably thinking of.
I did see that it's back. Did you get to watch it though?
I watched episode 1, and I don't know, like for some reason it just doesn't hit as like the other ones, and I don't know if I'm becoming like a little biased with I know 50 has some issues with them and whatnot, and I don't know if that's impacting the way how I'm watching this show, but like I'm watching it and I'm like, it's not like hooking me like how it previously did.
Yeah,
so I don't know. Maybe not. I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah, I wasn't watching it as much as the other Power Universe, but I heard. I mean, I know that they went through. He went through some beef, and it looked like it wasn't going to happen, and now that it is happening, I expected that. I'm like, isn't his vibe just going to change on it? Like he was beefing with these dudes.
Yeah.
That being said, today I would like to release the info that it looks like the second spinoff has been announced out of the Power Universe, and it looks like it's a show with Tommy and Ghost. The son. They're gonna have a show together.
Oh, okay.
Son, yeah, but Ghost's son. So Tariq, yeah, they're gonna have a show together. I think
I still want, and maybe this actually might, now to think about it, this might actually tie into Raising Kanan, but like some of like the earlier stories of like Tommy and Ghost.
They're still doing that. They're doing an so I literally read today. So there's 2 shows coming, and they're like,
okay, I'm ready for that. Yeah.
One of them is Power Origins, and it's Ghost and Tommy, young Ghost and Tommy, how they become. So that is happening. And then they're like, the new show is going to be Future Tommy with Future Tariq, and they're going to call it Power Legacy.
Now, when you say future, like you mean like they're kind of like going ahead, like, or like.
Not super future, but just like Tariq after his show, because his show
right.
Yeah, so So it's just, and like this is going to be the last season of Tommy in Chicago. So Force,
Oh, they're having it back. They're having that again, like
yes, yeah,
the
there's one more season of Force. So
okay, because
yeah, Force is
I
going to
was
end.
rocking with it. I was
Yeah,
rocking with it.
Force is sick, yo. Force
Yeah, I was
is
rocking with it.
it's
Yeah,
really
yeah.
dope. So when Force ends, Tariq and Tommy are going to join up for a show, and it's going to be called Legacy, which
You
is
know, I always appreciate how, like this whole like Power universe, how they're able to like keep the momentum going. So like as one series like it ends, like another one's about to begin, or even begins like immediately after. So
Mhm.
you're just like hooked, but it's enough variety to keep it interested. So it's not like repetitive and redundant, but it's enough, like different time periods, different
Different
story
cities.
narratives,
Yep.
but the different cities, but they're all connected.
For
That's not an
sure.
easy thing to do. That's not an easy thing to do.
I think that they're kind of beating almost every other creative franchise in existence in
Yeah.
that in how to take one idea and have it open up. They're beating I mean, Marvel had a lot of movies and stuff, but Marvel is just trash right now. It really is. And
Yeah.
I'm a fan.
They're like
But
running
like
out of ideas.
they're super running out of it. They're just doing the same shit over and over. But like the Power universe is growing and expanding in amazing ways. And like they're doing the history and the future, and both of them are growing really organically. And when
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
they find dope new people when they add new people, and like, it's
Yeah.
when 50 died, it was like, okay, well, is it gonna die? Like, hell no. Like
Going.
50 died like 3 seasons ago, and the shit is still fire.
My personal favorite is when Joey Badass's character, like died and thought that was the end. And I'm pretty sure, man, like the people took to the streets and was like, nah, you got to bring him back. And they're just like, quick, rewrite him back in. Like, I think he was really like cut, you know what I mean? And then they're just like, no, we got to rewrite him back in, man, because, the people are speaking, and you got to give them what they want, right?
Yeah.
And his character is so ill, man. You know what I mean? So,
He's a
yeah.
yeah, man. Yeah. I mean, I don't think he is. I'm not going to put him on the level of Tupac on any creative level. That being said, I think on the level below Tupac, I would
Yeah.
put Joey Badass as far as a very talented young black man who also is like I like Tupac's rapping better than Joey Badass, but Joey
Yeah.
Badass is a pretty good rapper.
Yeah, you got bars. You got bars.
Yeah, and like Tupac, I think he also is a better actor than he is a rapper.
For sure.
And like, yo, he's like way better than most rappers as far as being their acting. Like, he's really good. And
True.
I don't think
Yeah.
he's as good of an actor as Tupac. I don't ever want to be caught
Oh,
anywhere.
he's definitely, improved a lot. And I think he's great. Like his character's believable. Like I'm like when he's in the role, I'm hooked in it. I'm like, yes, like this is who he is, And the last thing I'll say about this series is like, when I look at the new generation, so like Gen Z, Gen Alpha, there's a lot of like 90s nostalgia that's coming back, you know what I mean? So having these shows that take place in the 90s is very, it's timely in many ways, because it's like as society we've gotten so far that it's like, we got to go back a little bit. And the golden era, and you see like the drip that everybody's wearing, and kids today are looking at me, they're like, yo, I'd rock that right now. The 90s were flying. I'm like, yeah, I know, I was there.
That's it.
You know?
That's so real though. Honestly, like I mean, we had the super magical. We can't even speak about how blessed we were to be born in the 70s and 80s to
Yeah.
experience the 90s in our
Right.
teenage years. And
Yeah.
when we're coming of age, and when we're
Specifically teenage,
like we're growing, and we're like, and I'm like, yo, I was like 14 in 93. I don't like that is so special in the grand text of the history of the planet, actually, on so many levels, like hip hop, movies, clothing, culture, everything. So like we really were lucky. And like the same way, we kind of look, I mean, oh yeah, quick shout out to Sly Stone, and rest in peace to Sly and the family Stone. But like, looking back at, like, I love Jimi Hendrix era in the 70s and stuff, and like, Beatles and all that shit. That was pretty epic. But like, our era was also super magical, and there's so much a generation of kids who are like, yo, man, I really wish I could have been alive when the 90s was popping.
Yeah, yeah.
Man, some of the things that have been lost are unspeakable.
No, that's fire, yo. That's fire. Yeah, man. Well, hey, man, like we know where we're living in. So, seeing, the power, the origin stories and the Raising King, like all of that coming together. I think we might even see some more shows, like that. Like it would be kind of cool to see like another story that's like taking place in Harlem and Brooklyn before gentrification. And, I still want to see like a Toronto version too, because we have a lot of stories, man. I know we got the Law and Order Crime Unit, which is doing great. Like I watched the series. I'm looking forward to the next one. I hope it continues. But we need like our the Toronto Wire kind of vibe. You know what I mean? Like we need that. The
That's so
intersections
real.
of like African, Caribbean coming here, and then like, yeah, just I don't know. I think it'd be really dope, yo. Anyways, put it out there, man. Universe.
Universe. We need those visions. Let those roles come our way.
Get it, man. Let's get it. All right, man. So I guess we're gonna sign off like that. Reminisce show every Tuesday, carrying the tradition of St. Kofa, because sometimes we got to go back and collect what is useful, what is meaningful that can push us forward. But also, I'll add Ubuntu, South African word, which means I am because we are, which is that element of hip hop, community, knowledge, wisdom, understanding, all that good stuff, man. So we're going to continue the legacy and keep building. Big up to everyone who passed through. You already know what it